So this is what my art desk looks like after a trip to the UK. It was kind of an arty trip, which was nice. Um, I wanted to show you some things that I purchased and some art also that I completed. So this is going to be a video mostly about that. I purchased this bag from a place called Vintage by the Sea in Southend, Essex. They have amazing vintage items. This is from the 1970s. It's suede leather. And I needed something to kind of hold all of my little sketchbooks, and this fits them all perfectly. So I think we will start with the contents of this cool bag. Basically, I had brought along with me my trusty Fabriano book, which I used a little bit. And then I brought along my watercolor sketchbook, which I also used a little bit. And all of these sketchbooks just fit in here, like it's no problem, which is great. This I bought also in Southend at an art store called Lawrence Matthews. It's just a little sketchbook. I thought it was a good size. They did not have another Fabriano, so I went for this one. I think the paper is really nice. It works well with ink, and so I bought this towards the end of my trip. I also purchased this from Lawrence Matthews. It was recommended to me. It is a Winsor & Newton drawing medium grain paper. It looks like it might be better for inks and or colored pencils or pencils, but I also think that it would work well for printmaking, so I purchased this to see if the lino prints that I have been working on are going to take well to this paper. So it's 150 gram and it's size A5. So I am looking forward to trying that out. I purchased this at Hobby, I think it's called Hobbycraft. And it is, yeah, Hobbycraft. It is a black square notebook. I don't have any black paper, so I thought that it would be nice to kind of try that out. Also for lino printmaking with white ink, and also because I purchased a set of acrylic markers. These are from Temu. I didn't want to spend too much money on acrylic markers, and I didn't want brush tips. I wanted kind of more of the circular dot tips and fine tips, because that's kind of, I just use it for embellishing small detailed areas. So I will get to swatching these in a video as well. And then I had room for my teeny tiny sketchbooks, which I worked in. In fact, I have finished this one, so I'm going to do a full sketchbook tour of this little guy, but it is all painted up and finished. And I began this little one, only I started it backwards and upside down. So there's a few pieces in here which I'm happy to show you as well. We can just get to that. But these are mostly watercolor backgrounds, and just little kind of sketches and drawings that I thought were really fun to do, really quick, just kind of like while having a coffee, or, you know, having like a quick brunch out. It was nice to kind of pull out something small and be able to kind of just finish it in one setting. So all of my sketchbooks go in here. So I'm going to put them back now, and we can move on to the next thing, which is I hope you can see my marker bag. So this is the pen bag that I use. I bought this at Barnes and Noble. I just love the botanical drawings. I really like that it's like woven kind of canvas, and it's a great size. So I haven't done this, but I plan to swatch out my favorite pens that I use. These are new. I bought these Faber-Castell pens also at Hobbycraft. So they come with, I think it's, yeah, there's 4 metallic pens inside, 1.5. So they're a little bit thicker, and I really like them. I also want to try these on the black paper, so I'm gonna do that. And then in terms of the pens that I took for myself while traveling, it was kind of a mix. This is a pencil I was gifted by one of my students the other day when I got back from my trip. Very cute, so I added that to my bag. But let's just pull them out here, and then we can, we can see what I have. So I had purchased these metallic pens and this white pen from Temu. These ones are okay. They're not super metallic. The silver is good. The white I quite like, actually, but the tips get a little bit funky. I don't know if you can see, so it's good that they come in like a multi-pack, but that's part of the reason why I purchased these Faber-Castell ones, because I thought maybe they would just hold up a little bit better. And then I brought a few of my Le Pen collection. I love these pens. I use them so often. I think that they're fantastic. So I brought colors that I thought would kind of just like go with, you know, I don't know, like city-esque and country kind of sketches, as well as, you know, kind of brighter colors that would match together. So this I'm gonna now put back in the rest of my Le Pen collection cup. Not all of them are from a pack. Some of them were bought just as individual pens, so I keep them in this cute little Japanese cup. That's that. Then I have my Stabilo, or Stabilo, I guess they're called, pens, which I like. They're really easy to travel with. I don't get super precious about them, which is kind of nice. I brought just like a few different colors that I thought would be useful, and they were. So I'm gonna add those to my kind of miscellaneous marker cup, which is here. So this is, I don't have too many of them, but when I travel, I tend to take a bunch. Then I have these 4 Prismacolor. These 4 Prismacolor pens are really nice. They are brush tip, which is different than what I normally use. The colors are super saturated. I also bought these, were really nice to have as well. Just some odd, you know, regular pens, a Uniball and just like a regular pen are always nice to have. And then I purchased these from an art store in Barnet, in North London. These are called Unipin Fine Line pens. One of them is a 0.1 and one of them is a 0.5. The colors are dark gray and light gray. I love these pens. I think that they're fantastic. I use this light gray one. It's like a pencil, but it's ink, which I find to be really just useful and great. I did some really like enjoyable sketches with these together. I can show you here. So this is just like a quick sketch of King's Cross. It was like maybe a 10-minute sketch that I did, and I think it came out really nice. And then this is just using the light one, also like a very quick sketch of a building that I really thought was fantastic in Leicester Square. So these are 2 new pens that I really like. And then my black and gray Le Pens, which are great. And then I also have this pen, which I love. It's the Artist Pigment Fine Liner. It's an archival pen. I brought the 0.8 just so that I'd have like a little bit of a thicker pen, and I use this a lot, especially to do lettering. So I actually had a few pieces that I had watercolor painted in this book a while ago, and I didn't know what I was going to use for them. And then when I counted the swatches, I saw that it was just enough to do an alphabet. And so I kind of had this idea to do all of the capital letters of the alphabet, and then on this page, all of the lowercase letters of the alphabet. And so these, all the black letters were written with that pen. So that was kind of nice to do. I did have a kind of cute time playing around a bit in this sketchbook over my time in England. So I did this with just like a piece of paper that I had brought, ripped paper, and then some flowers, and the watercolor background I had already done at home, so that was kind of a nice quick thing. And then I worked on these pages when I whipped out my See Me watercolors, and then I just kind of like wanted to check out like how colors mix, different shapes, different, I don't know, things that I was thinking or that I wanted to say, or that like, you know, you kind of just like have on your mind sometimes. And so these are all kind of little sketches from then. And yeah, again with this light gray pen, I did this sketch in here on this new sketchbook of the front of a cafe that I was sitting at and having a coffee at. This sketch, which I also did using that light gray pen, of a chandelier that was in the restaurant where I was eating, and then I went back to the apartment I was staying in and kind of watercolored this abstract design. And I really like this quote that says, "Never fear shadows, they simply mean there is a light shining somewhere nearby." And I think that that's like, I don't know, I think that really spoke to me. So now that I've emptied my pen bag and I have all of my sketchbooks kind of out and done there, you've seen some of the new purchases that I made. I thought that I would do just a quick little tour of this sketchbook. So this is a teeny tiny book. It's 2 inches by 2 inches. And I really love this book. In fact, I love it so much that I have bought a few more because I just think it's great. So this is just going to be a quick flip through, and I hope you guys enjoy. There's some watercolor paintings with the Kuretake Gansai Art Nouveau set. There's also a lot of like Derwent Inktense watercolor pencil sketches. There's some metallic markers, Stabilo pens, as well as the Le Pen markers featured often. There's also some collage elements like this page, which was a print that didn't come out, so I tried to kind of just do something kind of crazy with it. I tried to use like quotes here that feel like things that I need to remind myself of and remember, as well as like using just different pieces of paper that I had saved or scraps that I didn't want to throw out. Stickers as well. I'm a fan of stickers. I've done a few of my small lino cut prints in here. Testing out some new washi tapes that I was gifted. I really like this one. This is the Kuretake paints with washi tape cutouts and Le Pen writing. I had found some dried flowers, rose petals that I had pressed. Just little sketches. I had these quote stickers that I really liked some of them, so I wanted to save them, and I decided to put them in here. There's also the India ink, which I love to use. Pieces of paper. This is actually a washi tape background with a lino cut print on tissue paper. These ones are mostly featuring just stickers and some watercolor paint in the background. This is when I was anxious before my flight. I kind of did this one. This is a picture of a beautiful tree. I love the shape of it. Then I saw a YouTube video of these cool kind of patterned drawings, and I tried to kind of take that on board. Also, I saw something about like finding symbols that mean something to you, so I kind of drew all these different symbols or like lines and things that I really like to kind of add and put in my paintings, like mark making. Again, this is a sticker that I loved, and I tried to kind of just like frame it with some funky drawings. This is a teeny watercolor of an orchid plant. And then like an abstract landscape of the sea. And that's the last page, and this little book is finished, and I love it. And yeah, that's the little book. So another one of my purchases was actually in Bath. There is a really cool art store that I went into, and I found the papers that I absolutely love. These Khadi handmade papers. So they didn't have the ones that I had bought previously. I only have a very few left of them, the A6 320 GSM, and these are white, well, off-white really, with the deckled edge. But they did have the 150 GSM, and they had them in this really cool kind of like grayish tealish color, which I think is really cool. I think it's cool to have a toned paper. I don't have any, so I bought these, and then I also opted for the 210 GSM square papers. I think that these are going to be super useful. I recently finished this piece here, which is a lino print on tissue paper matted onto a watercolor background on one of these papers. And I actually am planning on, I bought this frame from Drexel Heritage. This is from Home Goods, and I thought that it would go really well in here. The only thing is it needs a mat, so I'm going to mat it and then put it in this frame. So that's one of the finished pieces that I am currently working on. So that's to come. So the things that I took with me other than that, I really like, my bag was so heavy because of all these art supplies. I took a few of my Derwent Inktense pencils. I took my See Me Art watercolors because they're the only ones that I have in a tin. But then at Hobbycraft, they were having a sale on Winsor & Newton Cotman watercolors. So I decided to buy myself the 3 primary colors for the most part. I went for cadmium yellow, hue, cadmium deep, red deep hue, and the ultramarine. I figured I can mix a lot of these to create some cool colors, and so I'm excited to see how that comes out, and at some point I will swatch these out and and do some color mixing, which will be fun for me. And then just another little bit that I bought was this this teeny sticker. It's metal wire, there's like a little pearl, and it's in the shape of a flower. It's mounted on this like kind of cool paper. I thought that it would make a really good book plate for some of the little sketchbooks that I have been making, which I will also do a video on. And so I went for it and purchased it, but I figured just like on the little books that I'm making, to have a little sticker like that would be really pretty. So so that is another one of my little purchases. Yeah, so I ended up using these quite a bit. It was really nice to have just like a tin that had all my watercolors in it. It had you know, my swatch sheet and a few mixing trays, so that was really nice. And I've been using this Derwent paintbrush. It's pretty old. You can see that the wood is kind of like cracking off of it. It wasn't mine, it was handed down to me, so but I really liked using it, and my watercolors got some good use, so I was quite pleased with that. The last thing that I purchased also from Hobbycraft was, it's a set of watercolor paintbrushes. So in a size 12, 8, and then there's a size, let's see, 6 and 3. So as I said, I've been mostly using just like the paintbrushes that I have. I did buy some fine liners, and I did buy some other paintbrushes from Temu, but I find that they don't last a super long time, so these were relatively cheap. I like the feel of them. They're wood, and they're good sizes that I think I'm gonna use often. I often use a size 6 and a size 3, and to have a larger brush is also nice to do washes. So I bought these, and I am planning to use them also to swatch some stuff, so that should be good. The big show banger, and I have been patiently waiting to open up this package. Let me just like make it all nice. I made it my goal in London to go to a place that I'm sure many of you know and love. Yes, you guessed it, Choosing Keeping is the name. They were helpful. The store was super well curated. I spent like an hour just kind of roaming around and looking at different things. They ship worldwide, which is great, so I may just go back and order from them. And I picked out just a few little bits that I wanted to bring back with me. So if I can get this off without ruining the bird, that would be amazing. But I don't know if I can. Let's see. There we go. Oh, no. Well, this isn't going to be one of those fancy choosing keeping videos, I suppose. I've been waiting to open these up. It took me a really long time to choose what it was that I wanted from this store full of goodies. So let's see what I purchased. It's only a few things. So they have these curated colors of Japanese Gansai Tambi paints. So I decided to get the shadow palette. They're kind of darker colors, or they seem that way from the swatches at least. And I know that I really like this kind of paint. So this was one of my purchases. I wanted to add to my watercolors because right now I have the Gansai Tambi Art Nouveau set, and these are special curated colors specifically for Choosing Keeping, and so I wanted that one. And then I also wanted to get this pastel palette. I don't have very many pastel colors, but I do have a lot of pastel lip pens, and so I thought that maybe doing a combination of the pastel watercolors as well as the pastel pens would be really cool. I don't know, the colors are kind of muted and I really like them. The third thing I got is this little guy. I really wanted to get some of their beautifully designed papers, but in my suitcase there was no way that those big papers were gonna make it back in one piece. So I opted for this little notebook instead. This is a tiny book of basically beautiful papers. They are all kind of these like historical, designs. I just love them. I think that they're beautiful. I can use them for collage. I can use them for note cards, for, thank you cards, for so many different things. So I'm really pleased. I'm really pleased with this purchase. One side is also blank, which makes them really nice to add also to art journals. Just you can make gift tags out of them. They're so colorful and bright, and I really wanted some cool design paper, and so I got this cute, amazing little pad. And then the last thing is this Rivoli paper. So this is 120 gram. I don't know. I saw it. I think it's meant for ink. It's quite thin, but it does have like a nice texture to it. And again, I really like the color, that it's kind of this very light gray. And I thought that it would take to ink really well as maybe to my lino block printing. It's also a great size that fits like a lot of the stamps that I have. So if I wanted to do some of even my bigger stamps, they fit really nicely. So I got this paper for that purpose. And it's a little bit smoother than the Arty papers, and it's not bound into a book like the sketchbook that I got. So I think that can be really useful. It's a size, I think this is an A. This is also an A6. Yeah, it's an A6 paper. So I'm really excited to test those out, and I'm also excited to see, like, I think the shadow colors would be really nice on a gray paper. So I'm excited to see how that comes out. So these were my 4 items from Choosing Keeping. I'm really excited to test them out. So I feel like I've been waiting for like weeks, because I bought these in the middle of my trip, and every time I wanted to paint, I was like, oh, should I open them? Should I open them? And I waited and waited. So the patience, I'm sure, will have paid off, because I'm gonna do some fun swatching of some things in just a bit.